We're live, and I don't know
Hey,
what happened. Hey everyone, sorry, I
tech
don't. We are just saying I don't know what
issues.
happened there. That was weird. That would be so weird if I was like zoning out and clicking the wrong button or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I'm drinking coffee too, but so I'm
Are
presenting.
you
Not what
sure
I
it's
wanted to
not
do is
Irish coffee?
yeah, I know. What I wanted
Sus.
to do was share the screen,
Hmm.
and so yeah, we just lost some stragglers. Probably we got people. They know the other streams over though, so
Yeah,
um yeah, maybe
hopefully.
it's all part of the show. That's like the plan.
You never
But
know, dude.
yeah, you guys don't. I'm a wild card. You guys don't know. Sometimes I just end the stream for no reason, pretend like it was an accident. Dilly, I'm out of here. No, you're out of the other one, Dale. You're here. This is where we're staying. So 6 people coming in. Thanks everyone. I think maybe people there's no big streams going on right now, so this is the place to be. This is good timing because it's the closeout for the good night.
Indeed.
So I was asking you as it ended last time, and now I'm
Mhm.
not clicking anything. So if it ends, it's like not my fault, and it is something weird if it happens again. But
Good to know.
yeah. But I was gonna ask you. So it's not on It's closed on Indiegogo. There was a
Yep,
Kickstarter. Is that still available too, or is that closed
that
down?
is down. So this is
Okay,
it as far as like pre-ordering the Good Night 2 and all that jazz.
cool. And then if people are coming in for a first time and they want to get issue one, also, is there a way to do that? Because that we can pitch that too.
So, as far as that, the only place where you can get issue one currently in digital form, we're kind of waiting to see if anybody has like a damaged copy of one that we kind of have to replace. But all of the rest of those issue one copies will be on our website, which is mysticalcomics.com. And you can
Okay,
get the digital today, though. But if you're waiting
cool.
for a physical, keep waiting. We'll have it on the site soon. So
Cool. I'm gonna look up Mystical Comics and we'll pull that up too. And if we have any mods in the chat, I pinned the link in the description, but I don't have the YouTube channel open. It kind of slows my computer down a little bit if I do that. So
oh no.
I'll if any of the mods can post the links, we'll keep that going and have people coming in. What's the website? Mystical.
Comics.com. And I did see somebody ask, is there a digital tier for both one and two? Um, I believe so.
Cool. Is it? It's not. You have a Gumroad account. It looks like that's not what you're talking about, right? Or is that
Nope. Nope.
okay? Yeah, filmmaker and shameless coffee addict. That's the
That is
Gumroad.
that is correct. Yeah, because it's just mysticalcomics.com. I think I
Okay,
can drop it to you here.
mystical. I'm gonna try one more time. Just typing it in.
You're good.
I searched it and it looks like oh here it is. Nice. I know that's annoying when searching it and it doesn't come up. It's like
I
what? Do
know,
your
dude.
job, AI. What is your? You can't do anything.
The AI is busy, like
It's
creating
busy.
misinformation.
Yeah, yeah. Doing other stuff. Other annoying. Look at the
Exactly.
bear. Um.
Pesky things. Pesky things.
Yeah. Cool. Paradise Lost 2 physical copy. Good night 1. Oh, the digital is only $6. So yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can catch up on the story and get physical 2. Pick up digital 1 if you want to later, which is
Mhm.
recommended. How many issues total will the story be? Too.
So currently we have it at 10 issues. My artist is already almost done. So he's kind of just like getting far out ahead of this so we can just kind of start putting these out at a more regular pace moving
Cool.
forward. Because there was kind of a good size gap, but during that gap, we were just like kind of hammering out the story.
Yeah. So how does he go? Does he just work 24/7? Because how does he? How is he productive while also being fast?
That like, dude, he's just like a beast. He has like an art studio, and for those that don't know, he uses like a mixed media approach for a lot of the comics that he does, but it's specifically for the Good Night. He'll start out on canvas, and then from there, we'll kind of digitally alter some parts of the image to kind of get what we're looking for. Just because originally we wanted to do it like a full painted comic, but
Mhm.
sometimes, it didn't come out properly when we were doing the scans, so then we kind of had to fix it in Photoshop. But yes, I am the writer. I saw somebody ask that. Indeed.
Cool. And yeah, just the fact, how long is each issue too? Are they like 24, 32, or 48, or in there somewhere?
So the first issue, we had 64
Mm,
pages for that one. This one is 32 pages, and each one kind of until we get to the last two issues, will go back to kind of that 64. But for the most part, it'll be 32 pages till we get there.
the last two are 64, and it's
Yeah.
everything else is 32.
Yep.
Gotcha. Cool. So that, I mean, that is epic though. That's kind of what I want people to
For
know, that
sure. Yeah, dude.
this is like a kind of long, fun, epic yarn. Crystal is very experienced writer. She's got multiple cool projects going. But yeah, part of your lore too is you were for many years kind of a ghostwriter in Hollywood, right? You
Yep.
still are to some
Ghostwriter,
extent.
script doctor. Yeah. Just don't have as big of a load as I used to. So,
Yeah,
but
because
it's picking up though. It's picking up.
oh, good. Are they
I'll have
still
some
being super
credited
weak?
stuff. So
Oh, that's awesome.
it's coming in the pipeline. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Video
cool.
game
Are
related. So it'll be neat.
what? That's
Yeah.
cool. Do you have like a an agent or a manager who will hook it up with jobs from time to
Nope.
time, or
Nope. I
okay,
do it completely myself. It kind of depends. It
yeah,
might be easier for you to do that, but I feel that I have more control if I do it myself. It just means I have to be like 10 times as vigilant. And
yeah,
I do consult with like entertainment lawyers and stuff like that when it comes to agreements. But for the
mm,
most part, I save money by doing it myself because, your literary agent or, etc., they're going to have a take. I'd rather just kind of cut out the middleman, give it to the entertainment lawyer, and, get your cut. So
yeah. That's cool.
that's how I
Does
do
it
it.
does it feel like they're a little less psycho these days from like that COVID era? Is that like calming down a little bit, or
Uh, it's in some ways yes, in other ways no.
what about we? The last time you were on, we talked a little bit about how crazy the kind of feminist stuff is.
Mhm.
And so since then, there was the South Park episode that coined the
Oh, I
term "put a
love
chick in it,
it.
make it
I
gay."
love it.
Yeah,
That
which
was
is
so
so
good.
funny. It was so timely. It felt like a really good, like, to just call it out and everyone, because that's kind of like the magic. Once you say it, then the
Mhm.
spell breaks, kind of. So it definitely
Yeah.
felt like they kind of defeated Disney basically. But then of course there's still projects in production, so it will
Mhm.
keep happening.
Yeah,
People keep
see, that's
laughing.
the thing, because a lot of this stuff is done, like, so far out in advance that you're not gonna see a change for probably 2 to 3 years, maybe even
Yeah,
4, because you
yeah,
like, for example, Fantastic Four, they've already, started to sink a budget into that. They're not filming yet, as far as I know, but it's getting you can't just switch lanes like that.
yeah. Is
Um,
that one? Did they make like the fire guy a chick or whatever and make her gay?
well, you'll have to see. Exactly, dude. I mean, it's getting ridiculous with a lot of this stuff, and I think people are starting to see it. But again, like you mentioned, it's going to take a while to kind of right the ship. And by then, it's like audiences might not be interested, or, you're losing a ton of money at that point. So it's tough.
Yeah. And one thing we mentioned is you said this, and I can hardly believe it, but it definitely makes me laugh. But in some ways, I'm a little bit of an accelerationist. I'm like, yeah, make
Mhm.
James Bond a gay chick. I don't care.
No,
Like
no, no.
it'll just
Don't, dude.
be.
I love Bond. Don't do
I
that.
know. He's kind of would be the coolest. Um, dude, and I would like Idris Elba as Bond. I think that would be badass. But
See, I would like he could be a different agent. He doesn't have to be 007 though.
yeah,
That's
that's
the
true.
the thing.
Yeah, yeah. That's actually a good point. Um, Yeah. So, but the thing is that they have like an app or like a bot that
Mhm.
will run scripts through it, and it will tell you whether or not it passed the Bechdel test. And they're doing
Yes,
this in
dude.
Hollywood,
Yes.
and it's so funny. And for people that don't know what the Bechdel test is, it's that two women have to have a conversation that's not
Mhm.
about the plot and it's not about a man. So they basically have to,
Yes.
it has to be like a bad scene. It's like all the best movies of
It's
all time.
so like none of the greats like Lord of the Rings, like nothing,
Yeah.
nothing
Star Wars,
passes it.
Godfather. Yeah, nothing
Yeah,
passes it.
Shawshank Redemption, nothing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then, yeah, actually, Shawshank, that's funny because there's another category that's like extra rare right now, but it would be like a movie with only men in it. And like The Thing is like that. There's
Mhm.
actually no
Yeah,
women in that movie at all. And of course, when they remake
exactly.
it, they make that's even in the era before it was super crazy, but they
Mhm.
make the main character a chick. And yeah, I was thinking about that as like where you might draw the line because even with this is kind of potentially something with Furiosa trailer just came out.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
Have you looked into that? Yeah.
Yeah,
And do
yeah.
you guys know? So Brendan McCarthy is the guy who wrote because it was all storyboarded, but Fury Road with George Miller in the 90s. And he's friends with Mark Miller. Brendan McCarthy is. They're both Scottish. And Brendan McCarthy is on Twitter and he hates SJWs. He hates woke stuff. And he's kind of a curmudgeon, a loving curmudgeon a little bit. And his art's real like hippied out, psychedelic. It's actually kind of awesome. And he's cool. But so I actually DM'd him and I was like, "What do you think about Furiosa? Did you have anything to do with this one?" I was like being a
Mhm.
journalist. I was like,
Yeah.
do you think it's woke?" And he hasn't got back to me, but I'm curious
Aw.
what he thinks. But even like compared to Fury Road, it's like Furiosa's in that one. She's like a side character and she's
Yeah.
badass and it's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
she was great, yeah.
Yeah. And then
Charlize, yeah,
the new
Theron, yeah.
one, it's in danger. It's definitely in that zone where it's like dangerous. It might be woke and it might be terrible.
Mhm.
And it's like, when do they cross that line? Because there's plenty of examples like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, whatever. They're just like countless where like, yeah,
Aliens, yeah.
yeah, like where
Good
female
stuff, yeah.
roles and they're all awesome. And then all of a sudden it just started getting so cringy. And I don't know, like it got like female power hour style, like
Dude,
whatever.
it's bad. You should see, like, and it's wild because I was like a script reader for some time. Uh, I kind of did that with the script doctoring, and you would see like the most cookie cutter scripts, and it's just basically like the premise is it's like all female like department or all female this or that, and it's so crazy. Um, just some of the stuff that you see coming in. And then
Yeah.
that they buy, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. There's some kind of funny theories a little bit about from Owen Benjamin about Hollywood, and one
Mhm.
was like it was something like they loved 300 because it was so gay, like Hollywood did, so it got fast tracked.
Stop it.
But
I did love 300 though. It's really good.
yeah, yeah, 300 is cool. But Owen Benjamin, what did he say? Because this is what he did, a comedy series called Gay Town, where everyone's gay and there's one
Oh,
straight
yeah,
guy,
yeah, yeah.
and
I
the and
remember that.
yeah, and so he did that, and somehow Hollywood thought he was woke, but he was kind of the opposite. And so there was this period where he was on the fast track, and it eventually like they kind of exploded basically. But it almost feels like a deal with the devil kind of thing. Like, hey, if you want to get like in the Hollywood system, just write some gay
And
feminist
see,
shit.
dude, so like that is an actual thing where people will do that just to get a job.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then you
yeah,
have to be careful because you could get stuck writing that thing that you hate for a long
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, Kami Mark's in the chat. How's it going, Kami Mark? If you're free,
Hey.
I'm gonna send you the link, Kami Mark. Just here 1 second. Um, but yeah, it is fascinating stuff with. Oh, I was gonna ask you, what about with AI and the writer's strike?
Mhm.
Is that like? And speaking, you're saying these cookie cutter scripts that are so lame. It's
Yeah.
like AI could replace that almost, right? Or is it? Do you not really foresee that too much? Or
So they already have programs that I've seen personally where you can basically take about 10, 20 pages of your script and it copies your writing style and kind of finishes the script per your kind of your I'm trying to think how you would describe this, like kind of per your points. So you're like, okay, here's this, 10 to 20 pages for the machine to read. And then here's the different story points I want you to hit. And then basically press, the button and it finishes your script. And that's kind of, and that's what a lot of people are worried about. Because basically, there's pitch meetings and stuff. You could give somebody your script that you're trying to pitch. And let's say if, and this is just an example, but they take your pitch and they train it on your style and then kind of make something sort of similar is the worry. So that's kind of the worry with that. But and the strikes are over right now as far as for writers and actors. But there was more protections that they put in place, but then there's still those gray areas. So you just have to be careful.
Yeah.
Copyright your scripts, people. If you ever go on a pitch meeting, make sure your script is copyrighted. And before you show it to anybody, because it'll be hard to prove if they steal it when it's you, the little guy, versus like Disney. So
yeah, that's like you could just go to like the Library of Congress and pay them $20 and they do it or something. Do you know how it works exactly?
So the WGA, I know they have an option to copyright your script through them, and it kind of shows up in their online database as copyrighted. There's a couple of other options, like you're saying, the Library of Congress, that you can kind of go to and copyright your script.
And is it like $20 to do it, or is it?
It's like it kind of changes. It's currently, last I checked, it kind of depends on what additional stuff that you can kind of add. But I thought last I checked it was about like $35 to $50. It kind of depends because there's WGA West and East, so whichever side is closer to you, it kind of goes from there.
Yeah. Daly says if you publish it, it's copyrighted. I heard back in the day you could like package it and mail it to yourself and never open it, and that like somehow works. But I feel like that is
that's difficult. Because I've been, always go talk with a lawyer before you do anything like that. But it's tough if you do the mail option. In some states, it may not be valid.
Oh,
so kind of totally. Check what your state says to be careful.
How's it going, Commie Mark?
Oh, yes, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Good. You have a cool frame. What is this? It's like that's your green screen or something.
It's OBS in it. Like that's Kim Jong-un's sister, and obviously Gina Carano from Red Alert.
Nice. Check out Crystal's tech. She's got she's got behind the scenes. Green always makes me think behind the scenes.
So this is a good question. Squibs in the chat. He asked, how do you copyright your comic though? It would go in the same script category. So I've copyrighted scripts before. Just kind of put it under the sort of like a episodic type option. So basically it's kind of like a TV script. If it's continuing, if it's like a one shot, just kind of treat that like a feature. There are different options that are popping up on these sites, but if you're doing it through like it just kind of depends. Check your state. Just kind of it's different everywhere, but yeah, it's a script. A script's a script. So yeah, pretty cool.
Oh, but what? And if it's a finished comic, then is there anything, or is it like anything? If it's published, it might be okay.
Yeah, if it's published, then it's copyrighted. In quotes, there's a trail to a published work, so you're safe if it's published in
Yeah.
most cases, but you'd still.
Copywriting, yeah, that's like in one way that's like it's just an easily traceable
Mhm.
way for it to be found online, so you can prove that it was there beforehand. Like,
Yeah.
and that works better than like emailing it to yourself or emailing it to someone or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, just make sure you always kind of keep a trail of the creation of its publication, and maybe if it's a smaller comic, maybe you don't have the money to copyright it right now or trademark it, but when you do have that ability, make sure that you go do that type of stuff so you don't get like weirdos
Yeah,
on
because Hollywood,
Twitter
there
in your
are those kind of
business.
people. Yeah, I've met a few of them just randomly, and I'm not even in Hollywood. But
Mhm.
you meet like
Yeah, be
they're actually
careful.
like shady producers. They're actually
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
grimy or whatever. Like, oh my god, this guy's weird. I'm gonna update this real fast, and we'll see if it goes up. We're gonna start building.
Cool.
We're gonna start building
Build the
shame
hypes.
on the chat. So
Oh, it did. Nice.
it did go up.
I
Sweet.
think so.
It's
Have you-
the novel nudge.
Yeah. The strats. You
The
guys
strat.
can learn a lot from me. It's all about shaming the chat until they purchase. the
Aw. Poor
That's
chat.
an interesting tactic.
No,
Why is
I
the
had
chat being shamed. No.
who was it? I think it was Matt Fowler on, and I was begging the chat on his behalf, and he's like, "You don't need to." What's this doing? Wait. Oh, it's still kind of uploading. It's being slow. He's like, "You don't need to beg. It's a good book. You don't need begging's too much." And I was like, "I'm not begging for you. I'm begging for me. I'm begging for you for
That
me."
is great.
Yeah.
No beef.
So that's what I'm doing too, chat. I'm simultaneously
That is
shaming and
great.
begging.
Aw,
One from the front, one from the back. And then
that is great.
they combine together to make you do my bidding. Oh, I don't want to hit exit pages. I'm scared. Now I'm like
You're
paranoid if
good.
I click
You're
something.
like,
It's gonna end the-
don't end the stream again.
Yeah. Did you see that, Commie Mark? I accidentally ended the first
Nope.
stream. I
That
just
was
clicked
kinda
the. I just like. I think I went to click like share screen, which is way different on the screen. But for some reason, I clicked end stream, share screen,
Poor
end
guy.
stream, and I was like, click, and Crystal's like, we're not even streaming anymore. I'm like, what happened? I like blacked out
That's
for like.
great.
Maybe I had a stroke. I don't know. They say if you get deja vu, you had a stroke, and I'm like, shit, that happens to me all the time.
That's who said that? Who said that? I've
My
never heard that.
my favorite deja vu theory is the idea that like the information traveled from one eye to your brain like a millisecond faster than the other. Like so when it receives the signal from your other eye, it's like what are we just like and that's what some people think.
Interesting.
I would almost believe that. I was thinking sometimes whenever if I start to fall into like a state of deja vu, I'm like, all right, I know what's gonna happen. That means I need to it's like lucid. I'm like, I need to bet on some stocks. All right, what did I remember?
Bet on
Which stocks are gonna go up?
dude.
And then I'll start to like log on and start to buy stocks, and then it'll fade. I'm like, I don't remember which one.
Mhm.
And then I'll lose all my money.
Oh no.
I got some email today about money. It's like it's like one of those like Blackwater accounts or whatever that I have a little bit of a retirement thing going. It's only like a couple grand. It's like an IRA. You can deduct it from your taxes a little bit, so it's kind of nice. And they're like, you can you haven't done it at all this year, so you can deposit and deduct some taxes if you want. I don't have as much money this year, so I'm like, I don't even know, but I should like budget and do it. But then those people, I see them, I forget which even my company is. It doesn't matter, but I'm like, they're the ones doing all the shady shit in the world too. Like it's the big banks, and that's like the only place to like. It's basically like it is Blackwater or something. I'm like, you guys are the ones buying up all the American farmland. I'm a bum that I'm your client. I don't even know what to do.
That is interesting.
Yeah, so I don't even know what to do about that. 22 people watching. I'll update it. I'm going to update it at 30 minutes. We're at 24 minutes right now.
Cool.
And everyone, and keep in mind too that you can get issue 1 for $6 digital. Get the second issue physical here, and the series is going to eventually be 10 issues. Pretty long. Like I don't know if it's like 500 pages total. But okay, real epic yarn.
It's getting there, dude.
Yeah, that's cool. What was the origin? Would you say this one kind of started because you've written like a bunch of stuff, but this is one of your longest, dearest tales, right?
Yes, dude. So I actually started like it's weird to say like working on it, but like in 4th grade, I came up with this idea after watching Akira. And it was like that hospital sequence where like Tetsuo's there and they're trying to like break him out. And there's those 3 weird like psychic kids that the government kind of has on their payroll or whatever. And like they're turning into different objects. So like one's a teddy bear, one's a toy car, and one's like a stuffed rabbit. And basically they kind of turn into like horrific like versions of these objects, and they're just kind of plaguing him in the hospital. And it is revealed that it's actually like these freakishly old kids. And I thought it would be interesting to kind of have somebody's soul kind of infused into an ordinary object like that. And I was like, what's like more perfect than like a teddy bear? Because everybody's kind of had some type of stuffed toy when they were a kid, whether it's like a teddy bear or rabbit. You kind of, get the gist with that. And when you're a kid, you have these, little stuffies that are super cute, and you feel kind of protected. Like, if you were a kid, you'd kind of carry that around and all of that. So I was like, dude, that's perfect. And I've always loved Arthurian lore. So I was like, well, what if I take knights that protect people and kind of mesh that with the teddy bear concept? And so that's kind of where the idea started. And I had this friend in the 4th grade who was actually like an artist, or like, she drew a lot. And I was like, hey, could you kind of storyboard this for me? And she did. And it is crazy because the storyboards that she did are so close to like what the finished issue 1 kind of opening sequence is. So it's crazy. Like, to me, not much has like changed besides, the dialogue is obviously infinitely better than the 4th grade script. It was atrocious. But
do you have that lying
great
around somewhere? That would
Dude,
be kind of
I
fun to
do.
look at.
Let me see if I still have it on my desktop. It's crazy.
Oh man, that would be awesome. If you have it, we can go over it.
Like,
Call me Mark. Let me check in with you real fast. What's even new? I guess I did talk to you like a week or 2 ago, and that was nice.
Yeah, when I come in, I was going to say, oh, it's been ages since I talked to you, but then I remembered I talked to you the other day on something like.
Yeah, you've been getting out a little bit more, or it's just the stars have aligned. You DM me, you're like, hey, I'm free this Thursday, finally, and I'm like, it's Thanksgiving, bro. Get it right, because he doesn't even know because what they got, conquered or whatever. I don't know what it counts if the conquerors, they tried to conquer us and then we like denied them. That doesn't really mean that we conquered them though, but it's kind of like the inverse of conquering is what we did to those damn Brits.
Yeah, sure.
Hype Wizard is a Brit too, and he what does he say? He has a funny line about it. He's like, you're our greatest success, something like that.
Greatest success, dude.
Yeah,
like,
Americans.
A lot of British people, like if you bring it up, will say, oh no, it was the French like who won it for you, like Lafayette. But I refuse to give any credit to the French. Like I'd rather let the Americans think that they're doing it by themselves.
Yeah, if you have to choose one or the other. I know the French and England, they do have like, speaking of Arthurian legend, actually I don't know if it's Arthurian per se, but that goes way back, that rivalry. Don't they call it, I think it's called the War of the Roses. For a while I thought that was like a fake manga name. And I was like, no, I think that's a real war that happened.
It is a good name for a manga, I guess. That's a civil war, that is, like between the monarchists and the parliamentarians.
Okay, so that was
monarchists,
France
obviously.
versus England.
No. The most famous France versus England war is probably like
The 100 Years
30
War.
Years' War or the 100 Years' War. Yeah, one of them two.
Yeah, and then that right when that was happening, that was like Joan of Arc time too, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's like that whole period. Like part of France, the area of Brittany used to be part of Britain, and that's what it's called, Brittany.
Yeah. And when you study that in school, do you like you're like, the Brits were right, or are you like, maybe the French?
We didn't really learn about that at school. They taught us like different things. Like weirdly, they taught us about the founding of the Mormon Church. Like that was a whole thing. Like like a year on that or something.
Of the Mormon Church?
Yeah.
They're not even teaching you about like the Catholicism and all the crazy stuff. Because there was stuff with that even like when Joan of Arc was around, there was like 2 popes, and people are like, "Which pope are you for?" And if you said the wrong one, they'd like get really mad at you, you know?
Yeah, the anti-pope in it. Like they used to have the pope and the anti-pope, and the anti-pope is such a cool idea for a book. You know, like the anti-pope works for the antichrist or whatever.
That does sound interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that kind of happens a little bit with like the Dalai Lama sometimes when if he dies and they're like, "It's this kid." They're like, "No, it's this kid." And they'll like argue over who it is. And so then it'll be like a little spin-off, like little mini Buddhism of one.
The Dalai Lama, like there's 2 of them in it. There's the Dalai Lama and the Pension Lama or something like that. And they alternate in it. So each one finds the reincarnation of the other one. Like that's how they pass down through time or whatever. But so the Dalai Lama found this kid, like, and said, "Yeah, that's him. That's the boy." Then the Chinese government kidnapped him or whatever. And then, like,
No way.
Later, they're
Wow.
like, "Yeah, here he is. Here's the boy. Like, he's a man now." And it's like, could just be anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, that's not him. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure you guys cloned him and replaced him. Or they don't even need to do that. That's the thing. Actually, speaking of that, what about The Man in the Iron Mask? You guys remember that?
Yes, dude, I love it.
That's epic. There's a lot of good shit in like history. Although that one I don't know if it's true, but it's sweet. I think that shit's real though. Like they have the elites or whatever, they do have body doubles. And even like I think Trump even has like body doubles. It's like to stop assassination and stuff.
Saddam
It's a good
Hussein
idea.
did as well.
Yeah. Here I'm gonna throw this up, Crystal. Nice. So this is
Yes,
cool.
dude.
So this is some 4th grade comic stuff.
Dude,
right here.
yes. Let me see if I can like scroll in on this. It's wild.
Well, so your friend was a good artist. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the first like couple of pages of the sequence. And ignore the terrible.
That's
the
what I want to
terrible
read. So let me
scribbles,
try and
no.
read it. It says,
Oh,
What makes you think tonight will offer up a different outcome for you? I'm just saying your track record hasn't been looking so hot for a long time. You certifiable whack job.
It's terrible, dude. I was writing this in 4th grade.
In 4th grade, you didn't swear, I assume. Like,
No.
Now I want to compare it to what it eventually became. Like, is he still talking trash in this scene?
So yeah, he's still like, you know, like trash talking. He's like, you know, I defeated you last time, bro. Like, what are you doing? You know,
Yeah.
so he's still doing that exact type of thing. And then
Yeah.
there's kind of like the shadow creatures that kind of pop up there. The kid that he's protecting, sleeping, and they're grabbing him and stuff, and then he kind of gets dragged off there. And then I have one other storyboard page that I think I can pull up here. One second. But yeah, it's wild to see this type of stuff. Just
You know what? The
Looking at
dialogue
it.
does sound like a precocious young lady wrote it. Kind of a fourth grader
that
who's
is
beyond her
funny,
years.
dude. That is funny. Yeah.
You certifiable whack job.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's gotta be memed.
I imagine her like as a child being like really feeling really naughty, writing whack job. Like yes,
Exactly,
you know,
dude.
like,
It's like top tier.
Yeah,
That is
you're
great.
like, this is some edgy shit. I can't let anyone read this.
10 out of 10. That is great. All right, I have the other one up now here. There you go. So
Nice.
this
So
kind of
this
like
is the next sequence.
Yep. It's so cute.
I'll come get you. I promise. Adding a W instead of a R is like a good
I know.
thing.
I
don't
thought it
know if
was
that's
cute. It was so dumb. And so then it's like, no, I failed. And then, like, originally it was going to be called Fearless Protector because I loved Venom Lethal Protector. So I was like, yeah,
nice.
Protector. And now let me, like, show you what it actually looks like now. If I can pull up the document.
Oh yeah. No, that'll be fun to compare.
Yeah, it's crazy
That's
stuff.
cool though. Everyone back the book if you're watching. 19 people. It's the last night, so this is the last chance to get in on issue 1 and 2. A great chance to begin.
Yeah. Because we're not reprinting the singles, guys. But the trades will just kind of infinitely, like, keep pushing those out there. But if you
Yeah.
want the floppies, this is it, peeps. Unless,
Cool.
extras pop up on our website and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But here is the cover for issue 1. And I'll kind of, let me hide that there. There we go. So now we'll kind of scroll.
Even Fearless Protector is like a pretty good title. And then Lunar Phases is good. The Good Night is good. You're pretty good at
dude.
titles.
I know, dude. I did that for a bit. Like doing that for series. I was like, dude, what? Here's the title. I got you, dude.
You have a Pablo Romero cover. Which one is that?
So that is cover B of issue 1. It's super awesome. It just has like Queen Belladonna and it's like she's flowy and levitating. But here is how it turned out in the actual like page 1. And it's crazy here. So you have like, he's just shouting at Belladonna.
Yeah, so she appears in the room and he talks shit. So this is where before he goes, you certifiable whack job, and then it's changed to become stand back. I won't let you take him.
Yep.
You're too late.
Yep. And then like the snap, dude. Yeah, and then all of the sort of ghouls climb out. And it's funny because one thing that I've noticed, people upon rereading, I left like weird little stuff in hopes that people would notice later on, other reads. But there's this creepy ghoul under the bed.
Cool.
Where we're kind of foreshadowing. It's like right under there. But it's like foreshadowing. So when she's like, you're already, you're too late. It's like, dude, wait a minute. You're no kidding. There's like one right under the bed.
Yeah. A guy in his room says, any hot teddy bear sex in this thing? It actually is pervert fringe now that you ask.
Yeah, there's a guy like on a Twitter. He's like reeling about that. Like geekdom guy, dude.
I forgot the term. I was like, oh, what was that hilarious term that he called it? And I forgot it for like a week.
Like
and
he's
then I
revoking my geek card.
Yeah.
Pervert fringe was what he called it.
Yeah.
And it was because I showed, like, for context, I showed a double page spread from issue 2. And it's like there's these nymphs and these like other fantasy creatures, and there's a bonfire, and like nymphs, there's really no way to go about it. They're just like naked all the time. So like, we have to be accurate here, people. And so I was doing that, but it's like very tasteful. It's, you'd see this at like a museum or something like that, It's
Yeah.
nothing crazy, but it is there, So this isn't a book for kids. Just because there's a teddy bear, guys, don't fall for it, all right?
Yeah, and you only mentioned that
uh,
because it's kind of come up, right? Because I
Yeah,
wouldn't have put
because
that together. Yeah,
issue one, like it's pretty. I wouldn't say chill, but we have mostly like beheadings and stuff like that, and like extreme violence and gore, I would say.
hmm
But nothing that, like, let me scroll a little bit. I don't want to.
Nora
Here we
Grant
go.
says, men that are scared of boobies are cringe. I asked on Twitter, what's the X factor for a good comic? It's like 33%. I got like 50 responses, and
Oh
33% of
wow.
them were boobs, which is like hilarious.
That's great. But yeah, see, we have stuff like this where it's like, oh no, his eye got cut out. Or if I go down, I'm trying not to, like, we have this whole page here,
Yeah, this is
blood
epic
spurting
stuff.
out.
Yeah,
I think,
super
and
cool.
like, it's so funny because he paints all this on canvas, and then, like I said, we kind of go in on Photoshop and like clean it up. And it's hilarious because I've given him references for like certain family members, so like their faces are certain characters, so it's kind of funny to like see some of the characters, and it's like, yeah.
That
But
with
then
the
the family's nervous. They're like, "Who are you gonna have me as in the next episode?" Don't
Yeah,
do me dirty, and I will. I
nice.
can't help it. It's great though. It's so fun. Uh, there's
Dude, the
another
Teddy,
cool page.
he's
I'm
got some
trying
good
to.
little acting. He's always got a funny look on
Oh,
his
he
face.
does, dude. Because he has to have like expression. Because he is just like, for the most part, a teddy bear. But he is a man inside of there, so it's like we have to like emote more,
Yeah,
and stuff like that. So love
yeah.
this one.
Speaking of which,
That's
yeah,
my favorite. It's like no.
yeah.
So yeah,
Is the
it's great.
dragon good or bad, or
He
middle
is
of the road?
absolutely bad. So that is Jeffrey. He has like a 3 different forms. One is, let me show you further up. He has a cool introduction page in issue 1. But here's him kind of turning into the dragon. It's
Oh,
that guy
sweet.
up there at the top right. That's him.
That's awesome, dude.
But
That's
he
like
has a
Animorphs. Have you seen the
dude.
Animorphs meme?
Yes, I have. That's we're going for something like that because we're like, it's so dumb. So here's Jeffrey here, and he has this spell book, which that spell book is also like a living person that's just been turned into a spell book. So
That's
um
badass. Yeah,
yeah,
you got
and
some cool.
that guy did him dirty too, because that
Yeah,
guy cheated,
I.
was doing some stuff with his wife, so he's like, I'll turn you into a book, dude. And he turned
Nice.
his wife into a severed head, which is right
Oh
here.
damn, that's
Yeah,
epic.
she's kept alive by magic. So, in the next couple of issues, you'll kind of see what went down. And like he just literally like rips her head right off her body.
Yeah. That's her spine dangling there.
Yeah,
beneath her neck.
dude. And there's like all the nasty like
Yeah.
guts connected
Ye-
to it. I know.
What I was gonna say, even like some of this magic, it's pretty original. I don't know if I've seen like a dude like dudes getting trapped, souls getting trapped in objects,
Hmm.
and like that kind of stuff is kind of a
Yeah,
fun
dude.
magic
I've been
system that the
thinking
world is
on
using.
it. I've been thinking on it for a while. So
Yeah,
there's been a lot of time to like put thought into some of this stuff. And like Queen Belladonna, there are because I've seen some people talk about villains and stuff. But she has some stuff in her backstory, I guess you could say. But
is
she's
she? I can fix
definitely
her. Is she an I can fix her archetype?
No, like she's for sure like straight evil, but you will see how she got to that point. So
Cool.
there's really no redemption arc. She's just super evil. I mean, sort of per se, like she kind of loosens up, but like not. She's still evil though. Like,
Yeah,
you know, I
cool.
love it. So
Yeah,
creepy.
it looks awesome. Yeah, and it's definitely gonna the word will continue to spread. It's cool what you're doing. Part of what you're doing too is like you're doing a lot of things like in a really good way as far as the
Mhm.
business goes, where it's good. The books are going to continue to come out, and so people will continue to have
Yes.
chances to catch up.
Gotta build the
Um,
hype, man.
yeah, because each new one builds it more. Speaking of which,
Mhm.
yeah, speaking of hype building, there's some hype for you on
A
that
lot of hype.
panel. Yeah,
I love it, dude. And it's
Oh,
funny because there were like some other pages that were kind of spicy in issue one, but it was funny because I would hear back from people and they're like, "Oh my, I gave this to my kid." I'm like, "No, why would you do that?
yeah.
Why would you do that?" But I mean,
Shadowhawk.
this
Or
second issue for sure. Don't give it to your kids.
oh yeah. That it's funny that people immediately do think that they're like it's a kids thing
The
because there's
teddy
teddy
bear,
bear.
and like I put it on, and granted I do put it on the campaign, and I'm like, hey, this is like, adult, mature, but they just look at the teddy bear and they're like, okay, give it to the
Yeah,
kids. I'm like, no. But if your
Shadowhawk.
kids see something like Lethal Weapon, which I don't know why they're watching that if they're not old enough or anything, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just,
By the way,
discretion.
Lethal Weapon's a funny plot. I was thinking about it the
I
other day. I'm
love
like,
Lethal Weapon, dude.
it's Mel
Mel
Gibson.
Gibson's awesome.
Yeah, it's Mel Gibson wanting to kill himself, but he wants
Yeah,
death by
dude.
criminal. He doesn't want death by cop because he is a cop. So that's the
Mhm.
plot. Kind of
Yeah,
like it's hilarious. It's like ridiculous, kind of.
it's great. It's
Um,
great.
but real quick, yeah, Shadowhawk. He says sounds like Harry Potter. I'm like, yeah, and Harry Potter is actually taking it from like the Lich, right? Because it's like it is known
No,
the
I've
magic
heard that.
systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is like kind of taking it in a little different direction too, because in the Lich is specifically with the Horcrux, and that's how you kill it. Blah blah
Hmm.
blah. And this is a little bit of a spin on that because it's happening to the good guy,
Yeah,
and
dude.
it's more just one object rather than a Horcrux kind of situation.
Yeah.
But and I
Now
guess
let me.
sometimes that can almost be related to like voodoo is like similar in some ways to that kind of stuff.
Very true. Very
I
true.
got a voodoo story that I want to tell for Earthbound 3 when it
Oh, that's
eventually when it
cool,
comes out.
dude. And then
Yeah.
we even have like some previews for some of our other books that are like completely done, lettered. We just kind of have to wait till people get issue 2 of the Good Night to
Yeah,
kind of
nice.
get them up to speed because we have Lunar Phases, which is the one that's like right in front of you. And it's like two best friends. One is a werewolf and he turns his friend into a werewolf against his will. So that's interesting. He's trying to like, up his pack numbers. And that has like a lot of fun like pack dynamics. So you'll kind of see, the hierarchy and how that kind of works. Because I always find that fascinating, but not many werewolf films kind of go into that. Super
Cool.
bloody. So if you like that, and
Yeah,
weird
that sounds awesome.
relationships,
I
it's
want to have
fun.
you on again when that launches and talk more about that because
Yeah,
there's a whole lore
that'll
to that
go
too.
just like straight to our website. Like
Okay,
there
cool.
won't
Because it's
be
completely done.
there won't be crowdfunding for that because it's already done. Um, just
Lunar
needs to get
phases.
printed. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. And because that one,
basically,
it actually also existed. There's actually a pilot, like an actual pilot got
yes,
shot
dude,
for it,
I
right?
have, yes. So it's interesting. So I pitched an idea to a company. This company said yes. They're kind of one of the major streamers. They weren't at the time, they just kind of started. And I pitched an idea and I was like, hey, let's have like werewolves. Let's make it like a, TV series. And I had the script and some other stuff, and they gave the go ahead. I was given money to make a pilot, and that was an absolute nightmare. So many things went wrong that it could be its own documentary. It was so bad. So, like, for example, like one of our filming locations, it was kind of like at a nature reserve, and we were filming out there doing like night shoots and stuff like that. And the cinematographer had forgot like his camera lenses, so I went back to go get those real quick from his studio and bring those, that way like filming wasn't interrupted. And on the way there, like, my vehicle got hit by a huge like buck. It was massive.
Oh
I
yeah.
swerved. So like I missed the other, so the does were just kind of running across. I missed them. Okay. And then all of a sudden a huge buck just like, and I was driving at the speed limit, but it was just, it's like pitch black country roads, there's
What
no
state in
lights.
Texas or
I can't say NDA
okay.
wise. It might be too easy to like
Okay.
pull
Fair
it
enough.
up, but
Yeah.
it was cool. And so then that happened. Not cool. And dude, like my vehicle went into the ditch and I was completely out. And it was probably like 45 minutes to an hour. Like I literally had no but I come back and I'm like, dude, my vehicle was still drivable. Barely. Okay. It was still barely drivable.
Was the buck like
He
stuck
was
in
for
your
sure
windshield?
dead. No,
Okay.
so yeah, dude, he like his antlers like broke off in the windshield.
Oh no.
Yeah, he went and went like right over the hood.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was still stuck in there. I like kind of stumbled out of the vehicle and like crawled out, and I could barely stand that night. But I pulled that out and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like drive to the location just to get this done. Dude, I showed up. My vehicle was covered in blood, like the windshield was smashed. They're like, dude, did you kill somebody? Did you get shot?
Wow.
Dude, and I had like, when this all happened, I had like a hot like coffee cup in there, and so then when like I went into the ditch, the coffee just spilled everywhere. It was a mess.
Oh,
I
man.
honestly don't remember most of the shooting that night. I was like, let's get this done. And then I finally, like after that, it's kind of all a blur. Basically, I had a concussion and, many other things.
Yeah.
So then I was
Yeah,
on, crutches and stuff for the rest of the filming. We had a SAG actor in our production. And this was a non-union production, but you can have a SAG actor on a non-union production if they're in kind of like a creative role, so like producer, executive producer, etc. And that kind of gives you a leg up in getting your pilot taken to series, because there is a SAG actor attached. So that kind of gives you better chances if you aren't able to do a full union like production. So that guy, he was a trip. He was always showing up like completely drunk, wasted. He had been going out with the makeup lady on our production, and there was some drama with that. I guess he cheated on her. So that happened.
Yeah.
So we had to get a new makeup lady. But on the night that like she left, and this poor lady, but like he like blew up and he was like freaking out and on this chick. And yeah, and it started a crew fight. So like our grip got in there and he was kind of, tangling with all that. And then our lighting guy when so it's like multiple people, just a fight broke out on set, and I was just like, dude, and I'm on crutches, and I'm like, I can't. I can't.
Wow, it's so funny. Were
And
were
it
you like?
was
Are
it
these
was
like?
nuts, dude.
Are these like friends you've made over the year that you're able to hire, or are they kind of just ramshackle you pick them up as
So
the production goes?
so some of these, a couple people were people that I knew, and the others were just kind of completely random people I didn't know.
Yeah,
The people I knew were super chill and like professional, but a couple of the people I didn't know were kind of acting up.
yeah, that's a
And
bummer.
like this SAG actor dude, like he's been in some pretty decent sized comedies and stuff. As much as I can say, he's still very active, and you'd be shocked.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
he was just like showing up totally wasted. And he actually was late to set one day. And we're like, hey, where is he? And we are kind of doing this rooftop shoot. And we're like, oh, there's this vehicle, we're up on a rooftop, and we're like, oh no, dude, is he gonna stop? Is he gonna And he didn't stop his vehicle. He plowed it right into like I can't even, dude. Like he plowed it into some stuff downtown, as much
that's
as I can
crazy.
say. And dude, he walked. I was like, is he like alive, dude? That was so fast. Like he had to have been going like 100, 80 to 100. I was like, dude,
No
is
way.
he alive? But he's fine. But he was like, like he just smelled of alcohol. He was a mess, and we're like, dude, like, what do we do? This is
Yeah,
crazy. But it just ended up that it wasn't working out because he ended up reporting us to SAG, and he was saying that we were like committing like SAG violations on our production. Which once SAG gets into your business, um, that causes issues, especially if you're a non-union production.
yeah,
So
Mm.
that basically halted what we were doing, and we had to like wait till they basically did like investigation, air quotes.
damn.
But they found that we didn't commit any SAG violations. So I was like, that's nice. But so then we basically like finished all the scenes with him. We're like, okay, we're done. He's out of here. We're good to go. But
Yeah,
then we had like a weird like mutiny, I guess you could say, like amongst the rest of the crew. And like, I was like still on crutches this whole time. Like I guess you could say like the car crash incident with the deer
yeah,
was like whatever you'd classify that as the incident. I was like, dude, and recovering from the concussion. I
yeah,
was just like not having any of it. And the streamer that we finally kind of put the pilot together. We got the CGI for the werewolf. Some of it was practical, some of it was CG. We got that together, um, and submitted it to them, and they loved it. They're like, "This is so awesome. We want to make it a series." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, yeah." But
yeah,
then they're like, "But we want you to have that main actor in there, like bring him on as like full time." I was hoping that we'd fully recast, which was
yeah,
kind of what, like, okay, I'm going to give you kind of like a proof of concept pilot, and then we'll just recast everybody. So that
yeah,
was the intention. And I kind of talked with them about that up front originally, but they liked his performance so much that they're like, okay, we want him, like he's the guy. And I was like, guys, we didn't, like, that's not what we agreed upon. And
yeah,
it's like, honestly, I'd had it with this
yeah,
nonsense, because I'm like, dude, I was like weighing the pros and cons of keeping this guy on a set when he's super dangerous,
yeah,
and like just being there with his toxicity. and it was like one of the toughest calls that I made, just like creatively, because I absolutely loved it. It was amazing what we put together, and like and it's tough too because there's other people that, creative wise, like behind the scenes, we were still going to keep, the grips and everything, and like a lot of the behind the scenes talent. So it was tough to kind of make the call to just kind of throw in the towel on that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, dude, we need to recast this guy or it's just not happening. And I have like full control of this IP. So I was like, dude, like it's either that or, I'm going to have to like bow out of this. And I had to bow out of it, unfortunately. So it sucks. Yeah. That wasn't fun. Dude, like telling people that like I had gotten the crew together and I had to tell them, look, we're going to have to shop this pilot elsewhere. Just because, we can't have this guy attached to it. Like he's already crazy starting fights, like trying to beat that makeup artist chick that was on set. That was his girlfriend. So I was like, that's not what I want. Chief.
Yeah.
Like, but then they got like so upset, everybody on like the Skype call, and they freaked out. And yeah, so I was like, I think I just kind of have to like cut this whole thing because it's just like so sour.
Wow. So they were saying, they're like, no, you should use
Yeah,
him.
they're like, you should. They're like, it doesn't matter. Like, this is like, this company is like the best out there. I'm like, don't do this. Like, don't, like, And I was like, dude, all I'm saying is we're going to shop it to other people. And they were like freaking out. And they're like, you need to accept it now. Like, and it's like, I'm not going to fall for like the peer pressure. And I was just like, yeah, this is just the attitude right now. It's like crazy. And I'm super chill. And if you talk to me, like, I'll talk to you. But they were just like flipping out because, stuff and things. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to have that guy there to like be crazy and act a fool. So, yeah. So I still have the pilot. I could like put it on wherever, but it's like, I don't know. It's the form that it was in is it's tough. So, but it's a comic. It's a comic, so that's cool. You get all the stuff without the drama.
What were you saying,
that's a bonus.
Because Crystal won't tell us who it is, should we just like wildly speculate? I'm gonna put my money on David Hasselhoff.
Dude, I can tell you it's not David Hasselhoff or Leonardo DiCaprio.
I have one down.
That'd be cool though.
Yeah. 17 backers still. Anyone in the chat? 18 people watching. I'm begging you guys. Will someone out there, please? I'm on my knees.
He's begging you guys.
This is a great book. You won't regret it. And yeah, get in early. It's going to be going for the long haul. Epic long story. Years in the making, literally in the best kind of way.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Crystal will be on later tonight, possibly too, on Reni's channel. I'll send you the link, Crystal, if you're still up. But Comic Mark, if you're around, I'll send you the link too, but it'll be late. So
I should already be in bed, to be honest.
Okay. Comic Mark, what about you? We'll go pretty soon, but I just want to check in with you. Like, what's new with your projects and stuff? What are you up to? You had a kind of cool video with Iden Paladin, right? That was fun.
Oh, when we went to that comic book shop that was with me on Twitter. Yeah, like that was fun. It was just a couple of days before that guy went to Eric July's warehouse and stuck money on his door or whatever. And I saw him do that, and I was like, that's nowhere near as funny as my video, what I did. But you know, his blew up because did it to Eric July instead of some nobody SJW comic book store owner that I done it to. But yeah, today I just posted like an update on the Krishna Kid campaign. It's called The Bad Update. Like it's a basic like a review of where we are in the process. And I highly recommend people go and read it, like so they know about Krishna Kid. Like
But it's not all super good news. Is that what you're saying?
no, so it right now, basically, I'll just explain it to you. I've just spent 4 hours writing the update or whatever. Like we started again. Like the book was about 1 month, 2 months behind, like where it was supposed to have been out already. Issue 1. Remember, Krishna Kid, the complete Eye of Brahma saga is 3 books. It's issue 1, 2, and 3. Like most people who bought it bought the gold collected edition, like which is the 90-page 3 books all like together in one thick body book or whatever. So the first 30 pages was supposed to be out in like April or May or something like that. And then in June, I ripped the whole book up and started again from the beginning, like, because it wasn't very good, like, and you know, that happened. But since then, when we started again, like in June, July, we're almost finished, like the first one now, like.
Cool. Yeah, I think people don't mind that so much as long as they get their books, you know, that eventually, and then they'll instantly forgive a certain amount of lateness once they get the book.
Like the date that I just suggested that I was aiming for of like April, May for issue 1 to be finished. You know, it's not. I didn't commit to that on the campaign or anything. Like it's just like a personal target that I'd set. Like you know, I was saying in that update, every campaign that I do, like I learn loads of lessons about how hard it is, and then like I change the process and simplify it, make it more efficient, and start again, go again, like for the next campaign, and it just goes blah. Here's like 100 different problems that you never had on the last one. Like, so you have to like karate chop your way through those, like, and then learn the lessons, and then do it again. And surprise, you still don't know everything that there is to know.
Yeah. Do you know? So you know, Henry Kissinger died yesterday or whatever. I'm sure you follow that kind of stuff.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, and so apparently there's quite a few Henry Kissinger quotes out there, and some of them are pretty good. There's one. It said, he said, like, every victory is a ticket to an even greater problem. So an admission ticket to an even greater problem. And I was like, damn, that happened. That's true or whatever. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like
that. What? Wait, sorry. One more. I got one more Henry Kissinger for you. He said like what's the exact quote? But it's the like the kind of violence of the argument is inversely proportional to the stakes of the argument. Something like that, he said. And I was like, that's kind of funny too. People argue like very vehemently over stuff that doesn't matter. Yeah. Whereas if it really matters, people don't actually, they actually kind of will talk, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, sorry to derail. What were you saying though?
So I posted this update today, the bad update, on the 30th of November. Tomorrow I'm going to post the good update, like on the 1st of December. So I've got it in 2 months, whatever.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. I was going to say, it doesn't even sound that bad, really. It's like, there's definitely good news there.
And it's really frustrating because I've got other stuff like I'm not just making Krishna Kid. I'm building like this whole connected Hindu universe or whatever. And the stuff that I've got that I've just got to sit on like until this book is done. Like we even were I was offered like a publishing deal by an Indian publisher, to publish it on the subcontinent or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like I turned it down, not only because I have to fulfill the backers first. What am I, fucking Mitch Breitweiser?
Yeah.
And secondly, it just wasn't ready. Do you know what I mean? Like at the point when they offered it, like it just wasn't in a place where it needs to be. Like what I want to do is go in with the whole thing complete with all 3 issues, like for maximum bargaining power.
Cool. Yeah, it makes sense. You can cross all those bridges when it comes to it. I think all of us in CG, we want to get into some European publishing and, well, American publishing even too, but European almost feels more realistic because American is kind of almost dead. But it's like, yeah, get the trades published, get them translated, published in France or whatever, in India. That's kind of sweet.
What's cool about the Indian market is that it's basically dead. Like there's one main competition company, Raj Comics, and when the owner of that publishing house died or whatever, his 3 sons inherited the company, and they all decided to make their own Raj Comics. Like so each one of them has like their own universe, and they're like separate companies, like all with the same name, like and the same characters. Like it's weird. So it's just ripe for someone to kick the doors down, like and present them with something. And then the other thing,
it'll be the second time that Britain has had their way with India, and it'll be a welcome change. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Everyone that I've shown it to who's Indian, like, is super excited, like, because they already know how good the story is, and and they just want to see it told by me, like from a Western perspective, like because they've seen the story hundreds of times, like in India from Indians or whatever.
Yeah. One of the things I think that's fun about it too is it's just like so heavily researched. You kind of have to even know. And so you did all that and combined with all your other research, it is like a really cool perspective to bring to that story. So I think it will. People are excited.
Since we started Krishna Kid 1 again, there's a character, Akrura, and he is like an advisor to the evil king. And originally, like I'd envisaged him as like Jafar, like a kind of Jafar coded character, like quite an old wizardy magic man type thing. And then I discovered that like he's in another story with Krishna, like about 30 years later or something. And like he flips teams, like he goes from being a bad guy to a good guy. So now I have to like redesign the character, like knowing that in 30 years in a story that I might die before I even get to, like he's got to also be able to function as a hero. Like
yeah, that's cool. It's cool how the evolution is happening in real time. It's kind of fun. Cool. So what's new for you, Kami Mark, with your channel? Anything, or when do you normally stream and stuff?
So in the new year, I have a podcast that I've been secretly making for about 3 months now, and I've got currently 6 episodes like recorded in the bank, like ready to go. It's called Comicast, like and we watch a movie with some communist theme or character or something, and then do a review of it. it's pretty funny. Like makes me laugh. And that'll be
That
coming
sounds
out.
good.
Yeah, it'll be coming out in January. And I'm already ahead. Like so I'm gonna release it like fortnightly, so it will last like 3-4 months, and I can do live ones in between and stuff like
Cool.
That's exciting. But again, it's a thing that I'm sitting on because I was aware that we're late on Krishna Kid, and I was embarrassed and ashamed to show my face in it. Like I didn't want to remind people like that I existed or whatever. But now the new version is so fucking sick. Like I can't wait like to show people again in it. Like so.
Cool. It's the return of Kami Mark, and if you didn't even know he was gone, that's on you. We all missed you. So, so everyone sub to Kami Mark because there's stuff coming on his channel, and follow him on Twitter. Some new books coming out, getting Krishna Kid going, everything like that. And good night. This is the good night closeout. Crystal, by the way, I was gonna say the logo is awesome. I don't know,
Dude. Yeah, it's
check out the
amazing.
bear. I just noticed this too. There's the bear in the D,
Yes.
and the
I
sword is
know.
awesome.
He's
The
in the
font,
D.
the
That
outlines.
sounds wrong. No.
Yeah,
Just
I know.
like the bears in the D. Dude.
Yeah, I know.
I love that.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, he's adorable.
I know. It's not for kids. That's what we say. It's pervert fringe.
Dude, like I don't know if you can show that full page spread on YouTube, can you? Or do you get knocked off for stuff like that?
I think we could show it, but I don't have it here. Do you have it? You can screen share if you
I
have it.
think it's on my Twitter. I think it's like the pinned
Okay,
the
let me
pinned
see if
tweet.
I can find it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
and we're
should be
kind of
right there at the top.
cool. Oh, nice. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, check this out. Boom.
Wee.
Yeah, can everyone see that? Yeah, look how cool this is. Full page spread, fully painted art, really cool fire lighting,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
The
Dude,
art is
this
also
is
great.
my favorite page from issue 2. Like it's
Yeah.
great.
It's good storytelling too. It reads really smooth and clear, which is, and
Yeah,
I wouldn't have guessed that at first. Like seeing the art so photorealistic, you're like,
Mhm.
damn, the art's so awesome. But then you see,
And
it's a comic. Like it's every
yes,
panel
dude.
is
And
telling
like
the story.
speaking of that, like that reminded me this. So when I started this comic and I first like crowdfunded this book, like I didn't have this come up the first go around, but the second go around, I've had people like, "Oh, is that AI art, dude?"
Oh yeah,
That gets me, and I'm like, "Dude, look at the hands. They're
yeah,
right
yeah.
there." But
I
no,
know.
it's not AI art, guys. It's just very like photorealistic, like painterly style. He's
Yeah,
just
and
like, and some of the stuff he's doing pencils and then he's on canvas with paint, or he's with, he has charcoal. Like he uses almost any.
yeah,
So it's
You-
kind of like the uncanny valley thing, I guess.
your artist has been getting better and better too, which is cool. So
Yeah, dude.
it's
And it's
getting
funny
it's
because he
getting
got
almost
kind of
undeniable.
blacklisted in Brazil.
Oh,
Because it
damn.
was too realistic. They said it was like too realistic, and he had like this werewolf book, and there's like this kind of like a, I'm trying to think of it, like a Red Sonja type character with this werewolf, and it was like too risky, I guess. So the comic companies there won't hire him, so he relies on Americans for
Damn.
commissions. Yeah, it's funny. I
Yeah,
guess
that
not
is
funny for him though, but like it's just in a weird like dark humor way. It's funny how things work,
Yeah. Yeah. Caleb Reynolds. Narwhal, that mustache is getting long. Dude, you got to train it. That's what I do. I've been starting to do this.
That's
Because
great.
otherwise it gets in your, if you sip milk or whatever, you get milk everywhere, just dripping like a walrus. You're like this
Who
can't
sips
go
milk?
on. Yeah. I drink it in bars. I go order it
No,
in public
dude.
places.
But one like another thing that I do want to mention, like this is where we start to get into more juicy story bits in issue 2. So like you'll kind of see the first couple of pages that kind of shows King Sir Alexander as in his human form when he was human. We do make a point in issue 1 that, you know, he can never turn back into a human. The spell was too powerful, so that's definitely off the table. But you will see how he kind of got turned into a cute, fluffy little teddy bear, and how he kind of still retains his nice, bright blue eyes there. But the guy there with the red hair is King Mikkel. He was the person who was in possession of the Holy Grail. And Sir Alexander was knight of King Arthur's court, so he was trying to reclaim the Grail for Arthur, who's kind of like ailing. And there's certain battles going on with Mordred and Morgana, so he's trying to help him kind of flip the tide of that war that's going on. And, you know, he's not successful. Obviously, got turned into a teddy bear.
Yeah, that's
so
badass.
Merlin basically freezes, stops time. He also does a couple other things to kind of hold the battle in this kind of like pause until Sir Alexander eventually would come back and hopefully help them out with that situation. Now, some of the knights had perished before Merlin kind of put this pause in place. So some knights are still around, some aren't. And, you know, in order
that's
for
kind of
this to
epic
happen,
magic too.
Yeah.
That's cool magic spell.
Because the story takes place in present day, so Merlin's kind of put certain people into kind of like a cryo type sleep, is the best way to describe it. So King Arthur will still be the same age he was at that time.
Yeah,
So
it sounds really fun. Like I can't wait to catch up on it.
Yep. And you'll start to see like Queen Belladonna's homeworld, how that kind of plays into it. Her homeworld's called Zarthus, and it's basically a living planet, and it feeds off of the energy that these two groups of royals, when they come together, they kind of feed the planet. And
that's
that
badass
hasn't
too.
happened.
I did see there's a panel that showed like planets, and I'm like, oh,
Yes.
it's like astral. It's like so epic that
Yeah,
it gets
dude.
planetary.
And
like
so when
super fun
you
fantasy.
see the planet, like it's covered in vines, it's like dying. And that's the reason why, is because the other side of the coin left that planet and moved to Earth and started a family. So Queen Belladonna's kind of pissed that like this guy left, Jack's father, the boy that you see there, that his dad kind of left and jumped ship. And so he left their planet dying as a result. And he knew that would kind of be the outcome, but he's, you know, like, you know, that hot piece on Earth, like it's kind of, you know, so he just kind of went the other way. He went the other way.
Yeah.
So yeah, you like doomed this whole planet. So like Queen Belladonna, the 6-armed chick there, is like furious.
Sounds like she's in the right a little bit. Sounds like she's not even that bad.
Like it's what she does, and like there's certain situations, so like it's interesting, and some people have noticed it's kind of like a little foreshadowing thing. In issue 1, you'll notice that kind of like the shape of her face changes, or like she kind of looks like she has slightly different features. That's not a mistake. She actually, there's like a battle on her home planet not too long after Jack's dad kind of left, where all of the different groups were at war to kind of seize power, and all of her species basically almost got wiped out when the dragons just came in, you know, like torched everybody. So there's like different people of her kind, like just on the battlefield and like different stages of death. So she basically absorbs all of their souls of anybody that's still alive. And so there's like, you know, thousands of people. inside of her, and you'll start to see their features kind of push out
Oh, that's badass too.
occasionally. Yeah.
Cool. You know, you ever seen Return to Oz? That
Yes, I have.
yeah,
It's good.
that's a cool movie that's like a little darker, you know, and some of there's some kind of cool spells like kind of remind me of that too. It's like a cool darker fantasy story. Like the witch in that one, she keeps girls' heads as a
Mhm.
collection and she'll wear a
Oh,
different
wow.
head and stuff like that.
Dude, so a
Um
guy in our room asked a good question. He's like, how many multiverses are in this?
yeah.
And that's a funny question. We have this and I haven't like quite settled on the name of this device, but for right now, the little code name is the Pool of Worlds. And what that is the guy in sort of like the Snake Kingdom. He has kind of seized this magical occurrence for himself. And what it is that inside of each pool, it takes you to kind of like a different world or a different time period.
Mhm.
And so, like, that's kind of where the Arthurian side of things come in. You know, there may or may not be a pool that will take you back to that time period or to Merlin, for instance. But it's also how Jack's dad got to Earth
Mm,
to start with. And
cool.
so you might see certain people come out, and I have all the other books that are kind of going to be out soon, like Lunar Phases and stuff like that. You might see, like, you know, werewolf hop through the portal. And
Oh,
that's kind
nice.
of how we um, kind of bring those aspects of it together. But we also have like a lot of biblical elements. So you'll have like archangels and stuff like that. And we have this amazing page from like the next issue where like Satan, Lucifer himself, is like chained and like tied to this like nasty bed. He's like basically like a hostage.
Dude, that's
And
cool. I was
he's
just
been
thinking,
beaten and it's so nasty. And
yeah,
like his
if the
wings have
world
been torched and it
dang,
kind of
yeah.
sets into like some other
It
stuff
kind
like
of makes you root for
revelations and
him a
stuff
little
like
bit. You're
that.
like, "Oh, poor Satan. Hope you get out of it, buddy."
Don't.
But yeah, no. But when you have a world that expansive,
Mhm.
that it makes you immediately be like, "All right, who would win in a fight, Satan or Belladonna?" Like that's kind of cool. You're like, "Now who's stronger?" It's like Dragon Ball
Dude.
Z style. So you get
Yeah,
to see
and
him.
it's interesting because like we'll have some of the archangels come in. So you have like Michael and, you know, Gabriel and stuff like that, and they're gonna come in. So like the final battle, how it's scripted for the book, it's crazy. We have like these humanoid cockroach people. You have like angels. You have demons. You have, you know, the characters from the Good Night, and you have like King Arthur and everybody like that. And it's like, dude, it's crazy.
Cool. Is that like a little bit like the Dark Tower kind of? It's like where worlds can kind of intersect a
Yeah,
little bit, overlap.
yeah,
Cool.
exactly. So
You
they're
could
definitely
you know
doing that.
what Stephen King did is he had himself be a character at some point. Like you could
Dude,
almost do
that'd
that
be
if you ever wanted to.
weird. I
Yeah.
don't know.
That's almost
That'd be
too meta.
interesting. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
little it's kind of a little too much.
In
Yeah.
Comic Mark is in not Daredevil, kind of, because like I function as the editor of the book, obviously, because I
Oh,
edited
that's
the book.
funny.
But like in continuity, like the superheroes all know that they work for me, like and that I'm like dictate, like writing the story, like, you know, like they're actors or something. There's a line where not Daredevil says something like, "Oh,
Mhm.
Comic Mark doesn't give me a penny of the royalties," or, you know, stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. I think that
That's
is like
hilarious, dude.
pretty funny, pretty good stuff. Yeah, I'm not
Somebody
that
in the
averse to
chat
that.
mentioned Anchorman. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
fight in Anchorman 2, dude, that was just amazing. I love that.
Oh, did they break the fourth wall in that one? I gotta
Yeah,
watch
so
it.
they had like werewolves and like sex panthers, and they had like the CNN news crew, the MTV like news crew, the History Channel, like everybody
awesome.
was there. It was funny.
Yeah.
It was so good. Like, watch that. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I'm in Robozan, and that one there's like a monkey. He's like, "Behold, the face of our creator. Our creator's face is warped. He is not made in our image," because they're all monkeys. And it shows me, and they're like, "What is he?" They don't know what a
Dude.
human is.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Yeah. Cool. So I gotta wrap up. I gotta get a little dinner, and then I'm gonna go on Creative Block.
Mhm.
And Crystal, I'll send you the link for the second half of Creative Block. Kami Mark, we'll just be in touch and we'll hang out. We'll just keep streaming and stuff. And looking forward to the future updates and the podcast. Everything sounds good. So
Yeah, it will be.
nice. Yeah, and then you get to get your other stories out, which we're all looking forward to too. But Christian Kid sounds sweet. Christian Kid, speaking of like planetary sci-fi, it's a little bit like that too. You know, it's like pretty epic and stuff. So cool. With that, I might click the button here, but I just want everyone to know it's the last night for the good night. So this is the chance. The floppies do not get reprinted, so
Nope,
they are kind of
they do not.
collectible too. And it is
Yeah.
it does feel like the kind of thing too, where these will be worth some money, especially by the time part 10
That'd be
comes
awesome.
out. Crystal's got the hookups too. You know, this could be a movie one day. So,
Dude, I actually tried to pitch The Good Night as like a stop motion film, but
Sweet.
it would have cost too much, so that was a no
yeah,
for them.
that's sweet
but
though. Cool.
very cool.
Yeah, and good hearing all the tales. And we'll have you on again. You should come back on and we'll chat more, Crystal.
Yep.
Especially when the new. I'm really looking forward to Lunar Phases too. I think.
Dude, it's gonna be fun. And speaking of that, if you can't support the book, go to the website, sign up for the newsletter. We usually will kind of wait until a product's about to go out and then shoot a newsletter or
Cool.
whatnot. So sign up for that. It's like right at the very bottom of the website, or it pops
Nice.
up if you like go to the site.
Yeah, it's like a pop-up when you first order. But it's mysticalcomics.com. Very simple. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of BS, but if you Google it, it won't come up. But if you type in
That's
mysticalcomics.com,
strange.
it takes you right there. Those bastards.
Yeah.
It's the AI. I tell
And
you
we
what.
do have a motion comic, and it's like issue 1. That'll be its own little thing. So you'll see that on the website. You can kind of check out the preview there at the top. But yeah,
Cool.
it'll be awesome. We have people voicing all the characters. Cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Motion comic action. So yeah, it'll be fun.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a cool idea. That's awesome. I'm gonna
Yep.
check that out myself. But yeah, sign up. We've got there's 16 people watching. All 16 of you sign up for the mailing list, and all 16 of you, otherwise great shame upon you and yours. And sub to Kami Mark's YouTube as well. And Crystal,
yeah.
you have a YouTube too, don't you? Or-
Yep, that's just my first and last name. So Crystal McGee, how it looks on screen is how it is on YouTube. So check it out. I stream there occasionally.
If you think that you already are subscribed to my channel, please go and double check, because YouTube just takes subscribers.
Unsubscribes, yeah.
Yeah, that's
15 this
again with
month.
that AI business. That's the real apocalypse. The AI doing sneaky things. Like I don't
Yep.
care if it's doing all the big
Unsubbing you.
stuff.
Dirty.
Yeah.
How dare
Cool.
you
All right, I'm gonna-
unsub?
Yeah. I'm gonna click end stream. So I whenever I do this, I'm like, I need an outro, but I clicked it. So